I'm Captain Michael Wall. I'm the director of the Montgomery County Police Department's Animal Services Division. And the main thing that we do is we enforce laws in Montgomery County related to animals. An animal is considered at large when it's off its owner's property and not on a leash or otherwise restrained. The only exception to that is dogs can be off leash at one of the county's 5 dog parks.
When your pet is 30 feet from you and sees another dog or sees a cat or a squirrel and takes off running, you can holler as much as you want at that dog and it may or may not come back.
Probably the biggest call we get is dog at large. You know, the old standard dog catcher type call, you know, dog running loose without a leash.
But another officer could handle it. That's a float. That was about a lady. Her dog ran at his dog because he started screaming at her saying, "Your dog's off leash, it doesn't belong here."
Having it on a leash, you have physical control so that if that animal attempts to get away, you're holding on the other end of that leash and you can control it from jumping on a person. Hopefully you can control it from getting away, and hopefully you can control it from biting a person.
An animal cannot defecate on property outside of the owner's property. The exception to that is it may defecate on public property. That's only as long as the owner immediately picks up, removes, and disposes of the animal's feces.
We regulate facilities that provide care for animals. They're required to be annually licensed and inspection with the division, and these include such establishments as pet shops, riding stables, commercial kennels, and grooming parlors where you have your animal bathed and groomed. And one of the advantages of this is that because they're annually licensed and inspected, you can kind of have a reasonable assurance that when you buy a pet from that pet shop that you're going to get a healthy pet. When you want to buy a pet, the key is to do your homework and to do your research, because when you buy a pet, you're buying the pet, or you should be buying the pet for the lifetime of that pet. They become a part of the family and need to stay a part of that family for the entire length of that pet's lives.
In Montgomery County, the law requires that all cats and dogs obtain a pet license. And this applies to Montgomery County residents. Now, the only exceptions are that the city of Rockville and the city of Gaithersburg have their own pet licensing program. And actually, in the town limits of Poolesville, cats are not required to be licensed. But the rest of the county requires cat dog owners to obtain a pet license for their cat or dog. And the benefits are really that when you have your pet license, when one of our animal control officers comes into contact with an animal, when they find an animal at large, they can quickly return the pet home. The tag is really a ticket for your pet to be returned home quickly. We also know that it has its rabies vaccination current because the two are tied together. What our officers do is anytime a domestic animal bites or scratches and causes a break in the skin of a person, then we quarantine that animal at the owner's home generally for a 10-day period. After a 10-day period, it is considered to be not a risk and not a possibility that rabies was transmitted. So the first time that a dog, say, bites a person, as long as the bite is not serious and severe, that animal is what we declare that animal to be potentially dangerous. It's considered to be a potentially dangerous animal. And that's in our Montgomery County Code. So what we do is we send the owner a letter notifying them that we are considering their dog to be a potentially dangerous animal. And we put some restrictions on the dog at that time. At that time, the owner is notified that he may only walk the dog on a leash, and it has to be walked by a person that's at least 18 years old and physically capable of restraining the animal. We may add some other restrictions depending on the incident and the severity of the incident.